My friends, over and over again, the colonial architects believed they could redesign the Middle East through pressure, fragmentation, assassination, propaganda, and purchased loyalties, and they keep on failing. They believed societies could be pushed like furniture across a room. They believed identities could be activated, inflamed, divided, redirected on their command. They believed resistance could be decapitated if they kill a few figures here and there. Solidarity could be dissolved, and public opinion could be manufactured. They sit in their rooms and their offices or islands and think they are smart in redrawing maps, and they fail and they appear dumb and awaken people around them to their dangerous evil. That's why these are their end times. The attempt to manufacture revolt by Iranians, by CIA methods and Mossad agents and bombs from above on the heads of the Iranians has failed. The pathetic Shah has become a joke and one of the most disrespected figures in history. The attempt to exploit Kurdish suffering for larger geopolitical designs has failed. The Kurds made it fail. They told them, "We don't want anything to do with you and your evil." The attempt to force Julani in Syria to act on their behalf has failed. The attempt to destroy resistance by removing leaders, assassinating political figures, have failed. Because serious political movements do not survive by personalities. They survive because they are rooted in memory, grievance, sacrifice, and conviction. The attempt to turn Lebanese society against resistance has failed. Most of the people who even were critical of Hezbollah before has now realigned themselves in the face of this Israeli terrorism on their country. The attempt to turn Arabs against Iran has failed. Although Iran attacking American interests in the Gulf is very messy and complicated matter, but the Gulf leaders have been more aware and wise than how the Israelis would love to see them. The Israelis' attempt to pull Gulf countries into full war with Iran has failed. The attempt to consolidate a seamless Western coalition to open the Strait of Hormuz has failed. The effort to monopolize the American narrative has weakened more than ever. The effort to fracture what is called the unity of fronts of resistance has failed. And at home in the United States, the cracks are visible. The ability to sustain automatic support across every political bloc is diminishing. Younger generations are less compliant. They are less trusting of official narratives and far less willing to confuse moral language with moral conduct. The average age of a viewer of mainstream media is 70 years old. They are on their way to irrelevance. The attempt to hijack Jewish voices has failed because Jewish conscience, like every conscience worth respecting, are not nationalized. Jewish Voices for Peace and several other organizations representing the true Jewish voice and Jewish figures like Bernie Sanders and Dr. Jill Stein are facing and confronting the AIPAC attempt to undermine Jewish morality and Jewish identity. The attempt to break Muslim unity has failed because a connected generation recognizes shared injury even across borders and across years. Even the old certainties of Christian Zionist support for Israel are no longer as effortless as they once seemed. And the attempt to purchase elections has become an investment into the corrosion of public trust. AIPAC and others spent about $24 million in Illinois recently to win its election, and they actually lost almost every single seat, and more losses are coming. Why is this happening? People like President Trump and Netanyahu are confusing power with legitimacy. You can have military superiority, but you have no political wisdom. Money can purchase influence, but it cannot penetrate principles. Your propaganda works best in darkness. No journalism, no cameras. But images travel faster than your lies. Contradictions are accumulating faster than your talking points. A generation that has watched destruction live on a screen is not easily persuaded by a press conference. We, the millions in the Green Party, and the tens of millions joining us soon, are telling you clearly, Peace cannot be built on organized humiliation and genocide. Stability cannot be built on F-35 domination. Democracy cannot be defended while children are crying in the cages of ice. And no durable future will emerge from strategies that treat entire peoples as obstacles to be subdued rather than communities to be respected. The suffering is real. The destruction is real. The imbalance of power is real. But so too is your failure. A political order that cannot persuade except through fear, cannot maintain moral authority except through censorship, and cannot sustain itself except by masked, mostly racist men. We are not witnessing the end of conflict, unfortunately. More children are being killed and homes are being destroyed with our tax money as I speak. But we are witnessing the exhaustion of a model that treats people as instruments, law as selective, and truth as purchasable. A wiser future requires international law applied consistently, diplomacy grounded in justice, and a political culture that values human dignity over empire, over fear, and over managed obedience. And that is what the Green Party will offer. Join us today, it is urgent.